ready to go. I don't know. I'm going to check real quick if they did face off before, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be another really interesting battle moving on forward. So, yeah, we're just about to hop into it, and let's see how these teams are going to be facing off.
We obviously want to say hi to Reeson over there in our chat. Thank you so much for being here on the Twitch chat, because now you're competing, you know? So we love to see you guys if you're competing right here and say hi, but obviously no detriment to yourselves here on your team. But we got these green check marks all around except for one on each team. There you go. You're going to see OG was taken. Green and then not green, eh? We're gonna, yeah, there we go. We got the Zarina. We got Stanley, of course, still running with that Dragonite. That's proven to be very nice today. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for this slugfest right here in our grand finals. Can I see some hype? Cheer on your favorite team. Let's get it.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good match overall, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams are going to be matching up. I did just check the bracket once again, and Griefers are on the losers bracket at what we consider the anime arc comeback, where you lose your first match, and then you climb your way all the way to winners finals. So we'll see if they happen to bring it back. So Griefers this time going to be facing off against Bangers X2, and we'll see if that is going to be the case moving on forward.
Just got to make that production note, of course. Maybe whoever's running our titles right there, maybe change that to Cinder Black to, of course, the Bangers X2. There you go. You got it. Thank you. Again, I sound like a jerk whenever this happens, so forgive me. I'm sure they might write to the chat and say you're not a jerk or you are one. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. We got that 14 dunked in right here. Then back to 15. Banger X2. We're going to have blow for blow, trade for trade right here. So there we go. It's going to be another 5 right here for Banger. And of course, if you are not authorized to re-upload this or anything, please don't re-upload this to your channels and stuff. This is unless you're an authorized user from Arcway Gaming, just to get that out of the way, ladies and gents.
Yeah, and we are going to continue on forward. We do see Stanley Fishy actually going to prioritize getting the farm early to get to that level 5 and heading up to top lane along with the Hoopa here. It's going to make it a lot easier for them. So they are going to go ahead and apply some pressure to top lane. Reeson trying to take down OG was taken, going to be able to go ahead and trade that out. Now they're looking at Rex next, and they have the damage ready here. Stanley Fishy going to go ahead and bring that down, going to get that quick score in for Griefers, and applying a little bit of pressure to the winners here. But Bangers just playing it nice and simple here, just trying to get whatever they can going their way. Going to go ahead and heal up before they go ahead and fight once again.
And so Griefers, you have to wonder, is this the strategy that you use against Bangers, basically coming in aggressively with these scores? Because again, it was having your Dragonair kind of pulled off that central area probably pretty quickly to get in this aggressive top push. But Banger obviously staying toe-to-toe with them right now for the most part. When we look at, well, levels, sure, but like mostly looking at the score right here, that's not a huge gap for early on. And we can obviously see there's just a lot of pushing from both sides. And so you have to wonder, Griefers, you know, are they bringing in enough, you know, on that standpoint? Like, are they doing the right thing by being aggressive like that there? So our trio right now just kind of hanging out on this bottom path, ready to maybe reorganize and then take on the wild farm that they need.
Yeah, that is something that Griefers has been doing quite well. It's just applying pressure to space that I would consider 50-50. Essentially, it's like space that you can take if it's available. Otherwise, don't worry about it. For example, like Jungle Invade, applying a lot of pressure here. You already see them trying to do that. Bangers X2 trying to already take down Wisp, and they're going to go ahead and do that and apply that pressure. But we will see if that is going to help them out later down the line, as we are about to get that Dreadnought spawned up.
That's right. All right, so that Dreadnought's coming in just a few seconds right here. So that's going to be a 3, 2, 1, and here we are. So obviously Griefer is going to be surrounding that thing very early on. And like I said, kind of playing this aggressive game, right? And you can just take out these things quickly with that Dragonite. So there's the objective and the KO streak of 3. So it's not just 2, it's going to be 3. And then 4. Can we get a 5? Well, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, that's going to be a nice 14 dunked in, but obviously plenty more to follow with that 40 from Dragonite right there. And obviously, why not? Just a 1.
They're trying to get whatever they can pushing on forward, and they are trying to go ahead and swap around. That is going to be the case. And rotating up to top already, trying to go and get the Rotom. That is not going to be where you want to be if you are Bangers X2 just trying to get through here.
And so it looks like right now that top path just kind of dealing with a lot of that pressure, and there it goes. So Reason actually brought down, not without a little bit of I would say a decent push, right? So I would say you're looking pretty good if you're griefers right now. It's just that you're obviously playing up against a team that knows what they're doing, right? You got a bunch of legends on that squad, so they're obviously pushing this Rotom back with that Horn Leech and whatnot. So everything's looking pretty solid, I guess, if you're Banger for that particular play. So maybe they can set up a comeback right here.
Yeah, they need to apply that pressure moving forward using that Rotom. They are just going to go ahead and just try to deal whatever damage they can, but it looks like Griefer's dropping dangerously low here, but Banger's X2 also getting pressured off here. Reason trying to go ahead and take down Curios, but the pressure is going to be moving him forward and hopefully giving him enough space to go ahead and do so, but Griefer's going to be able to answer back to the Rotom, going to be able to go ahead and take that. But Curios trying to push him out of the space and grabbing whatever they can. Although Griefers were able to take care of the Rotom, it's not going to necessarily be for free. Banger's X2 understands that, and they might even try to go in for a sneaky cap here.
Looking good as we have just about 5 seconds now for that Dreadnought. Yes, don't give up, because they're going to see that alert right here. If you're Banger X2, they see what we see on screen. But this is definitely a reachable game. This is a very close game. And so obviously with 4:45 on the clock, it looks like approximately, we're going to now see this next Dreadnought go down. Hopefully had another shot at another one, but here it goes, that HP dropping down so fast in that last hit, and so obviously Blissey going to be our one to secure it. But then we see some of Griefers drop right here, about 3 on their team, and that's going to be the Banger X2 seeing 2 fall on their team. So sort of a tip-for-tat blow right here, but obviously still getting that experience if you're Griefers.
Yeah, and that is one thing that like Bangers was really good at doing. They were able to just apply that pressure early, and now you see them slowly taking away and catching up on the score, only within 4 now, and they are now keeping that pressure going. So Rex gonna be able to get out of there, might come back with a Phantom Force, not gonna do that, just apply a little bit of pressure there. But these scores are coming really close. There is 4 more minutes left of this game. We'll see if that is gonna be the case.
So here we go, 4 minutes, 4 points, right? It's the game of 4s. But anyway, clearly a lot of things to handle before you go for that Rotom right now. So right now is not really the time, but we got to see who comes out unscathed on this one, or with at least the least amount of boo-boos, because look at that. That top goal is going to be going down right here, and there is just a lot of action to call out. But you're obviously going to see one of Griefers drop right here, and then it's just kind of this sandwich on Curios right there is the tree. Luckily able to kind of Horn Leech out of that, but then we see some more people dropping down on both squads, because you're noticing that tree just coming right back into this, gonna leech off some of that life and then escape pretty well unscathed, although just barely. Again, this is the game of bareleys now. We go from game of 4s to game of bareleys right here. Kanashi, you're right. Oh my gosh, is right.
They're so close. They're just applying pressure to the first goal just to make sure that they can get off, and now they're trying to get the positioning here for Rotom. You see Curios pushing it even further back, and even though Griefers were able to secure it, it's going to take them a long time to go ahead and get this. They're trying to go ahead and break that front goal before the Rotom touches, and they do so. So now they have enough time to go ahead and apply pressure to this back goal. There's 43 seconds left in this game, or before the final stretch. It's going to take them a little bit of time. They got to push it away, and we'll see if Curios is going to be able to do it.
Absolutely right. So they're going to contend with that. Obviously, meanwhile, we do have another thing to keep our eyes on, which is going to be this Dreadnought. So when you've got this objective split, clearly Griefers, they know what to do, right? So they're going to burst this down, and it looks like they pretty much have free range to do it. So there they go. And they will pick that off with about 15 seconds left until our final stretch. With a score this close, anything can happen.
Yeah, and this is something that a lot of teams, especially in like public lobbies, can really take advantage of and learn from this. You saw the pressure that Rotom was applying at top lane. It was mainly there to just open up the space for the bottom lane, and now here comes both the Hoops Unbound trying to go ahead and burst this down, and Banger's X2 gonna be able to secure that down. Will they be able to go ahead and push on forward? Do they have enough HP and damage to go on for it? They're just gonna sprint. Both sides are just ignoring each other, giving each other a handshake and just saying, okay, you know what, let's just go ahead and score wherever we can. So both teams just trying to dunk as much as they can. They might go ahead and send somebody else on the back end to go ahead and farm up some of their side to take advantage of whatever Zapdos has left in them. But they are going to go ahead and get that score. Rin trying to get this quick one in. It's going to grab that 11, not quite within that space for the Zapdos in order to get that. But is going to go ahead and score that in regardless. We do have a black screen at the moment, but we will hopefully get you guys the score moving forward.
Yes, so we're gonna go ahead and call it. Oh, I was gonna have some fun trying to commentate a black screen and imagine what was going on, but nope, I won't have that fun, will I? So at least everybody's gonna be able to see what happens here, which is obviously Banger X2 majorly with that lead. You are gonna see Griefers right now trying to make this last kind of push. You would need a lot of math on your side. You know, that's a phrase we use a lot, is the math. You know, you really would need a lot of that math right here. And so they are going to try to make this push, but when you only have that one goal, that means that you're pigeonholed into that one option, which is that goal. And so obviously makes Banger X2 have a pretty easy job to defend it for the most part. You got to actually make, of course, your wits and your skills all tip-top shape right here, which they do, because that will be a team wipe on Griefers. So great job. If you're Banger X2, you're probably sitting pretty right here with that KO streak of 4. Rin, disgusting in a good way with that Zera aura.
Yeah, it was just kind of an interesting push overall. They made sure that they didn't have enough time to reset and figure out how to get in. OG was taking just trying to get this last score in. Might not get through, but overall, you know, Bangers X2 looked like they were on the back foot for the most part. Griefers felt like they had, like, you know, as much pressure as they could, but when it did come down to that final fight, right around the Zapdos pit, it just worked out well for, you know, for Bangers X2 to just go ahead and secure that down. It's just overall really tough game. And as you can tell by these, by the way how post Zapdos, both these teams just shook hands and just walked past each other. That is just how it worked for them. They said, okay, you know what? It's close enough. If we happen to get the 500 in, we're gonna go ahead and do that, and it is gonna work out in their favor.
That's right. The Hundo Dunk has went down there, and we like to see it. What was interesting, actually, also, is you saw sometimes, especially on the side of purple right here, our Banger X2, that one, you saw sometimes that they would have a 40, which means that you can obviously dunk 80 with all points values doubled, which means that the goal's not broken yet. So then you can overcap that with a Hundo Dunk in it. So that looked really nice for Banger X2. Again, when we talk about the math and we're using that word a lot, it's like that gives you a scenario where the math, like, it's no wonder they scored 759, right? You know, because it gave them that advantage like that. So when you can overcap the goal like this, you're not just talking in terms of hundreds, you're getting a lot of points on it. Looking nice. So we'll see what happens in game 2. Of course, you know, certainly anything can happen, especially with a match that close. It's just, this is where we determine it, right? As Kanashi and I often like to analyze, what does the team that lost have to do to adjust to this? And sometimes it's little, sometimes it's big. In this case, it was like we would have said it was little all the way up until that final stretch. Now you have to determine, all right, how's our final stretch game going to go? You know, do we do something different? Are we going to see Griefers try to do that back cap maneuver where they get Hoopa all the way off into the final goal right there and then teleport everybody on in, make the zap not even a play? You know, what is it? What's the strategy?
I felt like it was way too close to make that specific play, but overall it was like really, really close. I felt like if Griefers continued the fight at Zapdos, like post Zapdos, like Zapdos dies, if they continued to KO a couple of the members of Bangers X2, it would give them just a little bit of an opening, enough for them to maybe even score or even win the game. So I feel like it comes down to those little plays there. They played the objectives correctly, where, you know, they took Rotom at a late enough time that they could secure down Dread and then go ahead and push for Zapdos. I felt like all of that was 100% correct. It's just a matter of how well can you really like focus in and hone in on the rest of it in order to really secure down and clean up the rest of the game. But Bangers X2 taking the first game here in our grand finals, and we will see if Griefers has an answer for it.
So if you're Banger X2, obviously typically that team that won is kind of sitting a little bit more comfortably, but they know what to do. They are legends. These are people that have been in plenty of tournaments. They know not to sit too easily. But yeah, it does give them at least that leeway, you know, if they want to try to throw off the other team Griefers with a different team comp, they can, you know, but it's up to the players. It's up to the teams right here. And so, wow, Rex, if you ran that Mr. Mime, that would be fun. But obviously that was just a momentary pause. So clearly going to go ahead and secure in the pick of the Hoopa and then Ren with the Zera.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any other mysterious picks going on forward. I'm kind of expecting a lot of the same thing, just to see if, there are a little bit of changes. I like the way how Griefers played the first like 4 minutes of just eating up space and not letting them like play the game essentially. But it will be up to what Curios plays. He's one of those players where, most of the time it's a coin flip to see what he decides to pick up. But it is gonna be the tree again, it looks like. Meanwhile, on the other side, we'll see if it is going to be anything interesting. We're going to have the Slowpoke coming out here. Once again, trying to deal and prevent a little bit more of that damage, utilizing that new, not newer, but like, more effective Scald build now.
Yeah, we could definitely see that Scald Bro in play right here. And Stanley Fishy, of course, still keeping true with this Dragonite, staying true to the Dragonite, we should say. Picking up those objectives really nicely. And so you do need that against Banger X2. It's just they've proven, obviously, with this team of legends, they can make it despite that. And so, obviously, just for the viewers' notes, of course, you want to make sure that the teams, you note that they have switched sides. So, of course, our production as well. There you go. They got it before I could say it. This is gonna be a thing. It's almost a meme now. But anyway, Banger X2 is gonna be your orange squad with Griefers there as the purple.
Yeah, and they are gonna go ahead and push on forward. Just playing it out as simply as possible. You do see Curios already going to the back, trying to get those stack items up and running. But I do feel like this is something that a lot of teams have been taking advantage of. Just applying a lot of pressure, utilizing that water gun from the Slowbro. It deals so much damage, and if you're able to burst down things at the right time, it can be very scary for the other team to go ahead and deal with it. You do see blows being traded here. Arcway dropping dangerously low here, and it looks like Jules actually was able to go ahead and take that. So it is going to be really interesting to see how these teams are going to go ahead and square off against each other. Banger X2 just trying to get their stack items up and running. Meanwhile, it's Griefers just trying to get whatever farm they possibly can here. Curios playing this nice and quietly, trying to get that last hit. Curios not going to quite get that, as you do see the level up from the Blissey. The bees are coming in this time, trying to go ahead and get some of that damage in. Looking at Rex potentially. Going to go ahead and use that Magician, heal himself up. And we'll see if these teams are going to go ahead and find something different this game around.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to watch Ian Wisp right there with their resident tree right now in this match, just because they were both kind of waiting in that tall grass, and it's like, wait, are you going to hit or am I going to hit? And so luckily Tree was kind of poking and prodding at that thing, but then didn't even get the XP from it. Tree, though, going to come up with a consolation prize, which was a KO there on that bottom path, and then perhaps some dunks in there right there with that 16. So looking good if you're Banger X2 for that. And so Rex right now dealing with a little bit of this pressure from Dons, but hey, you had Rin as the backup, and Don's able to sneakily get by there with that hyperspace hole.
Just being able to sneak out at the last second. Not going to be for free, though. Curios is actually going to go ahead and get a KO there. Looking at Wisp this time, might be able to just deal a little bit of damage, eat away at a little bit of their farm on their side, trying to get that last hit. Not going to quite go their way. Arcway trying to apply that level advantage on this bottom lane, and it looks like that is going to be the case. So rotating Rin down here as well, going to go ahead and get this 30 score in, and applying a ton of pressure to this bottom lane, as it makes it a lot harder for Griefers to go ahead and rotate back down here. Bangers X2 already putting that first goal in kind of a check position.
That's right, and we did want to confirm, of course, the Scald Bro. I think it was kind of the inevitable, but just in case anyone was curious about our Slow Bro here from Jule, I believe is how you pronounce that. We do see the accent on the E, so maybe it's just Jule or Jule. But anyway, everybody making that rotation for Dread, luckily, so we are going to have all hands on deck, and this team fight starts just a few seconds early as that Dread spawns right about now. But look at this, a lot of Griefers are dropping down somewhat low, I would say, on this HP. Nobody down yet, though. Nobody's down and out. We got Zarina, though, having to heal. This is kind of a large damage dealer for you, who was kind of taken out of that early, and so we are going to see a few drops. Dreadnought still not down quite yet, but it is looking to go a little bit more for Banger's side as we see that KO streak of 3 from our resident tree right here, Curios. So you do like to see it, but hey, maybe someone can come in with this sneak right here, and that Dreadnought is down and out, ladies and gentlemen. It will go for Banger X2.
Yeah, and they are going to be playing it nice and slow, not going to quite score here yet. You see everybody kind of grouping up over here to go ahead and try to get up here in time for this. Julie kind of understands, hey, wait, I might not be long for this world. But you see Curios already trying to push back the Rotom, getting it into better position for their team, and utilizing that curse reset. It's really important, and that's why Curios is able to get 2 of those horn leashes in as quickly as possible. But Banger X2 just trying to get better positioning and getting ready for this, but Stanley Fishy might have an answer for that as well.
This was sort of a nice run from Curios right there as that tree. You saw that, you know, making a few initial pushes on that Rotom, but then could actually tell, of course, with people hiding out in the tall grass, it's like, well, hey, where are they? Well, Rotom sniffed them out, you know, kind of bloodhounded them right there because Rotom was hitting them within the grass. And so now you're going to actually see a hyperspace hole KO right there. You don't see it too often, but it can happen as you see the Hoopa on a Hoopa. And look at this, there's going to be a Draco impact brought in, but obviously going to fall afterwards. And so right now they're just trying to see, will this Rotom touchdown or not? Curios going to go ahead and push him on back, and that can create just a little bit more space between them and Rotom. So that'll be, of course, a 40 dunked in there on a goal that I believe had 17 at the time of the Rotom's touch.
Yeah, so it's going to give them a little bit more of an overcap, which is important, but we'll see how well they are going to go ahead and play around it. They have another 20 seconds until the other Dreadnought spawns, and you already see the teams just getting in position. OG was taken, trying to tell Wisp, like, you know, back off a little bit. I will scramble that egg if you give me the option to. So Wisp just trying to play it safe, trying not to give away too much. Meanwhile, Griefers trying to get in position as well to get ready for this fight. We do see the Hoops Unbound coming out from Bangers X2, trying to figure out where they can go ahead and put the rest of the team in. Looking at the Blissey if they can. The Bliss Assistant's going to be able to be dropped to save their life. Getting in a little bit of that damage. Ryu is going to go down, and now the rest of the team is getting ready for that. Griefers this time actually going to secure that down and is winning out the fight here. And looks like they are going to go ahead and try to apply a little bit of pressure to this front goal. Can they do it? The Phantom Force coming out from Curios. He's going to get held up here, and the Hyper Beam just trying to chunk away at him, but he's still alive. So much HP from not only the heal, but Ryu also coming in with that Bliss Assistance to go ahead and like spread the pain essentially with that ability, and going to be able to save this front goal from any points going in.
Pretty nice job, Banger X2 right here, and you do see the hyperspace hole on the goal is going to transfer a few players, but clearly we still have moves to be made, I would say, if you're Banger X2 right now, and Arcway tried those moves. There it is, you're going to drop some of those eggs down, but hey, not a score yet. You know, this goal has 6 on it, and so that would be a nice overcap if you get 50, 40. That all looks good, but clearly Griefers doesn't want to lose it right now, so they are putting up the resistance, bringing down Curios, that tree right here. So that was your source of 50 points, would have been really nice. Stanley is actually going to be running this Dragonite on forward and maybe try to get a last hit, but no, it looks like OG was able to heal up just enough, and we do have these safeguards down. We're just trying to, it's kind of this opposite scenario, right? Because now we're creating a situation where, yeah, you want to dunk in right here on Banger's goal, but Banger X2 is now creating the resistance.
Yeah, they're creating enough space here, but because of that, they're creating an opening up at top to go ahead and march this Rotom down straight, and they are going to go ahead and just take out this arena quickly. Now he's looking for any buffs in the jungle as well. Just going to go ahead and let the Rotom walk. I'm going to get this free 50 in as quickly as he can. Might just try to even break this goal if they want to apply a little bit of pressure, but Rin understands he may have overstayed his welcome. Already grabbing 1 from the jungle, and now is going to go ahead and rotate out. Fingers X2 still having a commanding lead when it comes in terms of the points scored, but anything could happen in the final stretch, and we'll see if that is going to go ahead and change things up as we are slowly moving into that final stretch and the Zapdos spawn.
Right, that's what we'll be looking to in just a few seconds, but notice, of course, Banger X2, that is the right side team in orange right there. They'll have the shields, the experience, and all that because they get the dread. And now here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Could be the final stretch of the tourney, am I right, in this best of 3. So anyway, final stretch, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Banger X2 does have pretty good positioning, but you notice that Griefers are all together, and they were watching this because Rin was actually down here, potentially could have dunked in an 80 right there. We don't have we don't have a phrase for that, right? 80 Duncan, you know, it's Hundo Duncan. But anyway, Kanashi, what are we seeing right here? It looks like Rin gonna try to put this pressure down. Obviously, the Unite is blasted on down here on the bottom path instead of by the legendary pit.
Yeah, they are just utilizing that potentially to just scare off a couple people. We do see a couple of the hyperspace holes also getting played out here. This is a really interesting position. Not a lot going on near the actual Zapdos, but more towards that top goal, making sure that they can't do that. Rex also going to drop their hoops unbound to go ahead and make sure that if they wanted to contest Zapdos, it is an option, or possibly just using that to just deal some damage, maybe even threaten the goal here. We do see Fantaforce also coming out here, damage coming out here onto Griefers, and Bangers X2 just focusing down who they need to. They're focusing down now the Blissey, gonna go ahead and get that. Now looking for Slowpoke if they are gonna go ahead and do that, but it looks like Bangers X2 gonna start wailing on the Zapdos, creating a little bit of space as Jule gonna have to go ahead and back out here. All the entirety of Griefers is down, and now Bangers X2 trying to go ahead and lock down the Zapdos. The team could go ahead and score in. That is going to be the case, but the GG is going to come through, and Griefers going to be knocked out here. And congratulations to Banger X2 for taking the tournament here.
It was a team of legends. Forgive me if you're hearing my cough right here. I just suddenly picked up a cough right here. It might be the disgusting gameplay from Banger X2. Of course, disgusting in the best way possible, because that's a 270-point victory to 139.
Yeah, you could just see how well like this team was coordinated. They were ready and just really had control throughout the entirety of the game. They got whatever objectives they needed. They kept their levels really well, and once again, utilizing the Rotom to secure other things is really important in terms of their timing. They applied a lot of pressure to not only the front, the top goals, but also just the jungle as well. Once you have the Rotom going through, you have to commit a couple players to go ahead and take care of it. So that is exactly what they did. They applied that pressure, and once again, you know, Bangers X2 played this as well as they could, ended up taking it. Didn't even really need the Zapdos, but just wanted it as a little bit of the cherry on top, you know?
Absolutely. Stanley Fishy wearing that crown once again for Griefers, but once again, I think Kanashi, you know, you've already said it, but just to give my own congratulations, it was interesting to watch you guys from Banger X2, fun team name, of course, but also to see a fun team of some legends, like we've been calling them, come together and make this happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Arcway Gaming. It's our Pokemon Unite Blitz number 4. Like I said, you know, Kanashi and I have run other grassroots tourney circuits and stuff, and it's fun to watch the tourneys go out of infancy and then into their toddler and beyond stages and things. So we are always happy to bring these to you. I have been Dr. Kendo of the Pokemon Master Kendo YouTube channel. Again, much love to everybody behind the scenes as well that works on these. You know, it's Unite is at just a weird time with Worlds coming up very, very soon. But like Kanashi noted earlier, a lot of those pro teams that we knew in that pro circuit, a lot of just rearranging them. So we have to see just kind of what's Unite's picture going to look like after Worlds has actually occurred and everything in August. So again, it actually happens very close to my birthday, which is August 22nd. We'll see, you know, what is to come, what is to come. So anyway, Kanashi, can you send us out and say where we can find you and everything?
Yeah. Once again, thank you to everybody, not only production side, you know, Kendo for being here to keep me sane, but also, you know, everybody in Twitch chat as well. We hear you loud and clear as we are going to go ahead and go through everything here as well. I do feel like we are kind of in this weird limbo. We're waiting for Worlds, but a lot of these teams still need to keep their practice up, and this is a great place to do it. If you guys want to follow everybody where they happen to be, definitely follow Arcway Gaming on Twitter. That is usually when they announce these tournaments, and a good place to go ahead and figure out other grassroots tournaments as well. Once again, my name is Kanashi. If you guys want to contact me, you can find me on Twitter at Kanashi_GG. Maybe returning to streaming in a little bit, but we will see how it goes for the rest of Pokemon Unite. Definitely excited to see where this game goes, especially after Worlds, and seeing what happens with all these wonderful players who we've had the pleasure of meeting over the course of the last year. So, once again, from everybody here at Pokemon Unite Blitz number 4, I'm Kanashi. That is Dr. Kendo. Hopefully we will see you guys after Worlds.